2025 is a very big change when it comes to tokenization. So this is something that we've been talking about ever since we started the channel 2016. But what we're sensing this year is not just a shift, a reach out from the blockchain side, but also a reach out from the traditional financial side, trying to make tokenization on blockchain happen. And why is that? It's because billions and billions of dollars are coming into play. Once those assets move onto blockchain, they will enjoy the luxury of fast transfers, 24-hour market, decentralized everything. So we have built everything, they just want to come over. And this year I see this perfect opportunity as well for one of the projects that we love dearly, which is TokenFi. So if you guys don't know, TokenFi is a tokenization platform that essentially allows you to tokenize everything. They made it extremely easy to one-click tokenize everything. But not only do they tokenize memes, kind of the origins of this, and we'll go into that a little bit, comes from Floki, but they allow a huge step forward in the real-world asset space. And this is when I see this opportunity showing up. All right, this opportunity of the meme world, the fun, young crypto side of things, reaching out to the old traditional institutions, the people who are involved in real estate, writing those huge, the legal frameworks for making sure property transactions happen, for these things to combine into one giant money-making opportunity. So in this video, we're going to cover what is happening, the latest changes in regulations that's making this possible. On top of that, how you and I, basically people who have been in crypto, can massively benefit from this opportunity. So we're going to join by Ron. Ron, let's join our team up and let's cover this topic and really make it fun, but also make it really powerful, because I feel like this is one of those most powerful breakthroughs that we have in this year.
I agree.
All right, let's get started. So first and foremost, what is happening right now? So I think you got a lot of these reports that are coming in this year. A lot of words, but there's a lot of regulatory landscape analysis of what's happening when it comes to real world assets.
Tokenization in general is a very exciting concept, right? Giving opportunities not just for the ultra wealthy to own items or any sort of resource, but also this allows a lot of fractional ownership for almost everyone. Retail access, that's super key for the future.
Yeah, I think it's a generation gap. I'm kind of doxing my age here. I'm older than Ron. But Ron's been playing digital assets for a while, but you haven't played like the real estate or any of the old more traditional stocks like stock board, gem boards, or whatever those things are, right? So I feel like this is where the two worlds can combine, right? Like you have access, you have your everything done in crypto. It's much easier for you to move assets if it's in crypto. And then for traditional guys, for them to get on and access to this 24-hour market, this transparency, there's a lot of value there. You have younger investors really interested in blockchain, really interested in trading on chain. Now with on-chain changes, there's actually huge changes too, because a lot of interoperability is coming into play. There's a lot more interoperability. So everyone's like, okay, blockchain as a whole sphere, combining with the traditional real-world asset world as a sphere.
Yeah, I noticed that culture slowly died out, where before there was like, I'm only Bitcoin, I'm only Ethereum, I'm only Solana. But now everyone's like, let me bridge some money over there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a giant pie to slice, right? There's a giant real-world asset pie. I mean, like, why can't people own and, spread those assets across? And that's a big opportunity. And I see this as a huge turning point where that cautious optimism can switch like that to let's let LFG, let's fucking go. Let's make this happen. And I see where TokenFi fits into this. This is where TokenFi is coming in, right? TokenFi, they're projected to become a $16 trillion industry by 2023. I think that's not an overestimate, because TokenFi, they've already been doing a huge token launcher for a lot of minor coins. They kind of have the roots in the token launch ecosystem. The meme culture ecosystem and MemeFi has grown ridiculously. If you look at the Binance listings, everything's MemeFi. They have their base there, and they have the one-click launcher to launch everything and to actually make these tokens happen. But on top of that, pretty much any firm can take real-world assets and start launching it on their platform, which is why they have this huge projected growth. And then recently, of course, they added a significant change to the token ecosystem. Actually, let's just rewind what TokenFi is for a second. TokenFi really began as a DeFi platform that's launched by the Floki community. If you guys don't know, Floki started off as a meme, but they were the first ones to invent the idea of a community takeover, where the communities kind of just built and said, okay, look, we want this to succeed. Let's actually build actual value because you actually need that to succeed.
Yeah.
And then they built the whole TokenFi ecosystem. So Token is a complementary ecosystem to Floki. So Floki is kind of the origin, the giant origin. Empire. Token is their kind of like sister empire that's like really taking over everything.
Yeah.
So that's why in this episode, I think we focus a lot on Floki in the past because it's one of those tokens I really like it because they're a token that like kind of had the resilience to grow and keep growing.
Yeah.
But this is the one that delivers value, right? So that's why we're exploring this ecosystem at large. By itself, they're basically a launchpad. They can launch any type of token. You actually play around with it. You can actually choose which chain you want to launch on and then create and confirm you want to do this. And they provided a lot of stability for the meme coin ecosystem in the past because it kind of allowed people to launch tokens legitimately without
a lot of hassle.
And it gives the community a lot of safety because if it's launched from TokenFi, people understand and know that the contracts are audited, it's safe, much more protected from rug pulls. But now they're kind of taking the next step. And to gear that, so there are two things. One is moving towards RWA, that's what we know. Second is this huge DAO proposal that they did recently to remove the transaction tax. So this is actually really big because this is like kind of saying that the platform's mature enough not to become overbearing.
Besides, transaction tax is a big deal when it comes to smaller players too. So if you're going to be having access to ownership of real world assets, right? You're trying to save as much as you can.
And the tax was very important before because like, you know, the platform was new. At a certain point, we take enough fees to just cover the initial cost, but for the next mass adoption phase to progress, we must have a no transaction tax for this to become a widely adopted platform.
Exactly.
Right? And that's kind of the direction where Token is going. Token is gearing towards mass adoption for institutional investors. What institutional investors will know is like once they come into the ecosystem, they'll start to realize, oh shit, there's so many free tools like for us to use. Why develop their own? And this is why Token offers this platform. Not only do they allow the launch, but they have access to the Floki community.
Yeah.
I think that's really powerful, which is why I feel like this is the very unique selling point. Not only are they allowing real world assets one-click launch, but they said, okay, here's a gigantic community that you can reach. Right? Like traditionally speaking, these products did not reach our average investor. Like you look at these 90-page legal documents of tokenizing properties or large hotels, if you want to buy a chain of hotels or something like that, or you want to co-invest. And like if you ever want to do a timeshare, holy shit, the documentation is huge, right? But this, I don't think it's like timeshare. This is like partial ownership, fractional ownership, and that was not appealing for someone that's like 20-year-olds. But hey, now the world is different. Right? Now the world is like, okay, now you have access to this giant community to actually grow it. And I think this is the biggest unique selling point for TokenFi. Basically combining the tech, but also community, it gives a powerful package for people to get into.
You already had me at community.
Wait, that's how we also build our channel, for community. Right? And that's the most powerful aspect of crypto and blockchain. It's not just so that there's a transparent ledger, but also a huge early access to community and community feedback. And Floki is a good demonstration of that. Community takeover. They're the first ones to popularize the idea. Strong community backing everything that they're going for.
Exactly, I agree.
Cool. So yeah, that's our take on TokenFi, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys want more, subscribe. There's so much more coming. There's actually a giant giveaway coming, so make sure you subscribe. We're also building out our airdrop website, which is super, super exciting. We're building out an airdrop website to help you guys get tuned with what's happening, and most of it was a lot of work. So that's what I've been doing, like just kind of like doing everything here. So yeah. Really, really excited to bring you guys more value and more giveaways. And there'll be a secret giveaway on this airdroplet website coming very soon. So if you guys browse around and find it, congrats. It's going to be really fun. So anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, tuning in. See you guys in the next video.